Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your full moon in Capricorn lunar eclipse tarot and astrology. So, we're going to be talking about this really big, very deeply felt for over the next 6 months eclipse that we're about to step into here on July 4th or 5th, depending on where you are in the world. So, before we get fully into this, do make sure that you guys are subscribed, that you can check out your weeklies, your monthlies for your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus. And if you want to book a private reading, all that information is always right below this video in the description box. We're going to be using the Usi Pagan Other Worlds Tarot here, and we're going to talk about the tarot. We're just going to kind of do a general read on this because this is such a big eclipse. I might end up putting a poll for each sign over on my Instagram if you do want to check that out. I'll probably do that, the day of or the day before the eclipse, so make sure to check that out as well. But this is going to be a more general look at this because this is a really, really big eclipse happening, and we've got a lot of astrology going on. So let's just get right into it, guys. We've got a lot in... first of all, we have a lot of planets in Capricorn, and a lot of those planets are retrograde right now. We have Saturn that moved into Aquarius earlier in the year. Age of Aquarius is here, and I think that we can all really feel that. Age of Aquarius is definitely here, but Saturn is retrograde now, and it retrograded back into Capricorn where it has been for such a long time. And this is where it should be, where it's more comfortable. So it brings up this building, this structure. And when it goes retrograde, it asks you, what have you done in the past that has ruined your structure and security? What didn't work? And how can I use this to build something consistent and nurturing for the future for myself? And we also have Pluto in retrograde, also in Capricorn. So it asks, what did I do in the past, and where I tried to transform something, change something, and it fell apart and didn't work out, and why? And we also have Jupiter in retrograde. So we have, how can I work to create good luck for myself for the future instead of, just waiting around for good things to happen, waiting around for my luck to change? How can I generate good luck and fortune moving forward? We also have Mercury in Cancer here, so you can have a personal insight. You can take care of yourself, as that's the main focus, especially with the sun in Cancer as well. This really wonderful, nurturing time of the year where we're looking more at, ourselves and how to take care of us, how to take care of our homes, make ourselves more comfortable. And but if you use these, these types of energies and try to use that to take power or gain control, then it's really not going to work out well for you. We have some interesting moon relationships here. The moon is going to be right next to, the part of fortune, and it's going to be opposing Mercury in retrograde in Cancer. So it's going to ask you to really listen to your gut, listen to your certainties. Does it feel really right in the present moment? You don't have to worry about, what could happen in the future, what's down the road. Does it feel right now? What feels right in the moment? And, if you're open to receiving what's coming in, it's going to be a lot better right now rather than fighting it. And again, remember that these energies are for the next 6 months, not just right this, week, this now. We also have a sextile with Ceres at 12 degrees in Pisces, which brings up more nurturing, encouraging, spiritual energy. So that's good stuff there. We have on the square between the moon and Chiron, and we also have another square with Black Moon Lilith. So we have Chiron at 9 degrees in Aries, Chiron, the wounded healer. It asks you to take, look through your own body and self here and your relationship to it, and, really look at, where you feel pressure to take action. If you feel like there's pressure to take action, or pressure to do something, to make a decision, or something's pushing you into something, pushing you into any decisions, pushing you into a new line of work, etc., it might look really good in the moment, but it's gonna come back to bite you in the butt later on, and you're probably not going to enjoy it. So make sure not to, take any, I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go for that because, I'm getting pushed into it and, there's a deadline on this, so I might as well make it the decision now. Do not worry about those things, and do not let deadlines, time structures, things like that push you into something right now, because you got to think a little bit more about it, feel your way through it. So we also have that Black Moon Lilith square. So if you're working on getting more personal power, or comparing yourself, or trying to elevate yourself to other people's levels, you know, we need to switch that over to how can I nurture myself through work and for myself and others. You know, for the next 6 months, you're going to be a lot more biased towards work that really makes you feel good and helps the people around you. We have a really wonderful and interesting trine to Uranus and Taurus at 10 degrees, and asks you to really focus on the fact that your world is truly a reflection of the decisions that you make and have made in the past. And if you accept this energy and this, you know, this viewpoint here and all the energy that is coming in, then you can take action that will have an impact on the real world. Take action in a practical sense, and Uranus will transform your world unexpectedly and wonderfully. It really, also with the midheaven in Pisces, which is interesting because that's actually where my midheaven is. So you can see your spiritual counterpart and embrace its hopes and dreams, internalize and absorb them, and really take action based on them. Adding deeper meaning to your life if you really want, and can help you to manifest new circumstances that bring you joy. And that's really what Pisces is about, because it's a dreamer. It's, you know, where do I want to see my life going? And I want to be joyful, and I want to be connected, and I want to be happy. And it's such a positive energy that comes in with this. So let's start pulling some cards here, because I'm feeling really good about what this eclipse in Capricorn, this full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn is bringing in, because I think it's going to help us, especially to build the practical structures that we really want moving forward, and help us to really reevaluate where things need to be changed so that we could have more structure, security, joy, more of the life that we want rather than the things that we don't. Ooh. Interesting. What an interesting couple of cards to come out here. 3 of Cups, the 4 of Cups. Joy versus, well, not joy. Joy versus almost like a disappointed feeling here. And I know that these rocks almost look like it's like a person holding a cup. It's supposed to be that way. But the 4 of Cups is dissatisfaction, whereas the 3 of Cups is so happy. And that was the first card out. It asks you to be more present in your joy and to really look at your joy rather than what doesn't make me happy. Yet, this is also very important. It's important to recognize where you are not happy, where you are feeling held back, where you are feeling, you know, stuck and unable to push forward, unable to get the things that you really want, get the joy that you want. So there's a push here to look at, you know, how you are receiving joy and why things maybe aren't as wonderful as, you know, whatever you're getting right now maybe isn't what you want. Why is that? And what would make you happy? Oh my gosh. These cards. One at a time, please. Wow. Come on, one at a time. So yeah, this is going to be a really wonderful time, yeah, to feel through areas where we felt loss and wow, yeah, put an end to it, transform it. Yeah, like I said with that Pluto energy, where have we felt loss? Where have we been defeated? What in our mind, in our spirits really has, where have we tried to transform and not had it go the way we wanted it to? Maybe we started something, you know, made a decision to go into a job, move somewhere, etc. And we thought it was going to be so amazing, going to go a certain way, and it didn't. What did we try to transform in the past that didn't work? And how can we transform it now? Yeah, we can accept the loss. Great, whatever. Let's just take that and move on. Quietly understanding that sometimes things don't work out. And sometimes you feel a bit disarmed. Sometimes we feel a bit regretful because of a way a situation worked out. But the most important thing here about this full moon eclipse is that it's really asking you to take responsibility, take accountability, and say, my life is because of me. The way that this all is, the way that I'm feeling, the way everything's worked out is because of me and me only. I can't put these decisions, put the blame here on anybody else at the end of the day, because I have a lot more control than maybe I've been willing to see. So this asks you to take, you know, to take a step up here and change. The Death card shows up when it's time to change, and in an emotional sense is where this is hitting, because she came out before all of those cards just came out. The Queen of Cups, that Cancerian energy. It's time to nurture and love yourself instead of beating yourself up for past indiscretions, regrets, etc. Regretting something, yeah, maybe you can regret it for a second, but does it really help you to hold on to that feeling of regret and anger and disappointment in self? No. We can learn from it, move forward, take the loss. Time to move on. Time to change. And when the Death card shows up in the next 6 months here, are saying, you know, also instead of fighting against change, instead of fighting against the push to take accountability, to make changes, to take responsibility for your life, your decisions, your actions, you're kind of saying, okay, I take responsibility for my direction in life. I take responsibility for where I'm heading. I don't need to use anyone or anything to achieve what I want in life. And sometimes, you know, when we really want something, it pushes us to make decisions that we're not proud of, to lie, to cheat, to do things that maybe we wouldn't have done. And instead of doing that now, we're on a different path. And when that Death card comes in, it brings in almost this sense of peace, of knowing that everything is moving in its own time. With the Four of Swords coming out first and then the Wheel of Fortune. Make sure to take the time to take a step back here and look at how you want things to proceed. Because the Wheel of Fortune dictates major changes, major shifts. And it almost happens because, you know, we get that Death card, then we get the Four of Swords, and then that Wheel of Fortune. Like in between these two very intensely felt major arcana. Ones that herald change, that bring about a new beginning, that herald a shift in circumstances and transformation of life, really, from one thing to the other. A letting go of what was and an opening to what can be. In the middle of that is rest. In the middle of that is needing to take some exile, to take a step back. And I think what we'll realize that by the end of 2020, which is in about 6 months, so again, think about this eclipse as kind of closing out our year with this energy. It's saying that in rest is change. Even though we might be in exile, even though, you know, with the situation, the global pandemic situation, even though with everything going on, the time that we spend by ourselves, the time that we are restful, the time that we are not, you know, maybe in physical connection with others, the time that we're not really actively pushing and doing all these things is when a lot of this change takes place. And I think 2020 will realize and look at, you know, maybe we needed to all step back for a lot of the changes to take place that needed to take place. For us to really look at that path ahead, to plan it out, to map quest our way forward here and, you know, set it up, you know, A, B, C, and D, what we're going to do to make this situation work, to make a plan work, to make a career situation, a money situation work. If you have new ideas for career, if you wanted to step up and do something different and you haven't been able to make it happen, you haven't taken accountability, responsibility for what you're now, you know, feeling regretful over, feeling like was a failure. Now's the time to, you know, say, was that really for me in the first place? And if you do feel it is, let's make some solid plans moving forward. Let's make sure it's going to work out. Because the Knight of Pentacles, he's got a plan. He's not exciting and he's not rushing forward in a really amazing way. And he's not coming across as, you know, Mr. Attractive, charming guy. But the Knight of Pentacles shows up in a really practical, responsible, hardworking, self-sufficient way. And that's what we're showcasing as we close out 2020. Time for me to step up in a way that I didn't see I could do until now. Oh my gosh. Ace of Swords, victory, understanding. And if you are trying to learn, I also get the sense that, you know, if you are on a new path of learning, on a new path of understanding, clarity, intelligence, it will grow. Ace of Swords is a very powerful, triumphant card here. Your conquest will be triumphant. You will succeed. Literally, there's, you know, the crown of success. What is that? Holly? Is it a holly crown? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's an ivy crown, a holly crown, whatever those things that, you know, Caesar and all the victors wore back in Rome. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to say it right now. But it still shows success. It shows overcoming. I've conquered this. I've made my mark. I'm on the other side of it. I won. What now? And as I looked up, I saw 1444 for the timing. 444. We're building solid, stable. What is the word I'm looking for? Thank you, Mercury retrograde. It's been really fun for me in terms of not knowing what word to use ever. It's okay. All those four is foundational energy. This is the time over the next 6 months to build the foundations that we want, for the success that we want, for the path forward that we dream of, that we've really always wanted. And what feels right is really important versus what we've been fighting up against. Don't be afraid to put up a fight. People might try to attack your principles, values, etc., but you got to stand up for them. Your life is yours and nobody else's. Stop living your life for friends, for parents, for the goals that you used to have, for your partner, for anybody else. You have to start living strictly for you and looking at what makes you happy, what will make you feel successful, what will make you feel best. Because at the end of the day, we have one life to live, and if you're not happy because you're giving, that structure, happiness, whatever it is to other people to make them happy and make them comfortable with your life and way of living, then that's not living for you. And you'll find at the end of your life that you've wasted your life and you will be sad. So don't waste it. And I think that this next 6 months really have us focusing on, what about me? Yeah, that would make them happy. That would make all these other people, feel comfortable, etc. But does it make me happy? Does it fulfill me? Is it what I want out of life? Is it who I want to be? Eight of Wands. Interesting how we keep getting, 3, 4, then 7 and an 8. And I'm really loving that. Things will move forward in ways that we cannot perceive right now. Options, move any goals that we have, there's momentum pushing us towards them. Things work out in a really wonderful way. It's almost as if you just kind of follow the current, follow where the energy is taking you right now. Do what feels right. Do what you know is right. Take on those opportunities. Open yourself up to fight for more. And for those of you who have wanted to travel, who have wanted to move, I definitely see options for that in the next 6 months. If you are willing to, again, fight for it. If you're willing to put in the effort, put in the work, with all these planets in Capricorn, a lot of them being retrograde, there's no way we're going to get through this without some work and effort, taking accountability, taking responsibility, and taking action in practical senses, really, with all this earth and energy. Ace of Wands. And there it is. New beginnings, new energy, a new direction forward, new opportunities, something that lights your fire, makes you excited, makes you happy. It's the source and origin of energy here. It's the source and origin of a new path forward. Ace of Wands is one of my favorite aces because it is so exciting. You don't know where it's going to take you, but your energy behind it is just absolute fire, creativity, excitement. So ideas that you have, fight for them. Things you've wanted to accomplish, go for it. Evaluate where you're heading and the direction, your goals, all of that, and really make sure that they match up to who you are, where you want to be going, and where you want to see your life. So this is a really, really beautiful eclipse, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed this little read, this little astrology chat. And keep an eye out over on my Instagram if you want to get a pull for each sign on the eclipse, okay? And if you want to book a reading, guys, all that information is always right below this video in the description box. If you want to check out Truly Divine, which is an amazing astrology and numerology analysis service, they are incredible. They literally will send you like 20-something pages of information for your numerology, for your compatibility charts, which are incredible. My partner doesn't know anything about astrology, and it totally blew him out of the water. Like, he was like, oh my god, this is awesome, this is so accurate, what the heck, how do they know me? But check them out, guys. You can use my code Deku30 as many times as you want, share it with as many people as you want to get 30% off of whatever you get with them. And again, all that information is always in the description box below. So thank you again. Make sure to subscribe, hit that wiggly bell to get notified whenever I go live or put up a video. Check out your monthlies, your weeklies, and have a wonderful and blessed full moon lunar eclipse. Namaste.